హలో గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ స్టూడెంట్స్. లాస్ట్ క్లాస్లో మనం కొన్ని బిట్స్ గురించి మనం డిస్కషన్ చేసాం నీట్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలో. సో రిమైనింగ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ సో డిస్కస్ టుడే. ద ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ ఇన్ దిస్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూ, ద ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్. సో ఎప్పటిలాగే స్టూడెంట్స్ మన ఛానల్ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోండి, మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్కి ఫార్వర్డ్ చేయండి, ఎక్కువ మందిని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయించుకోండి, కాన్సెప్ట్ బాగా నేర్చుకోండి. కాంపిటీషన్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్లో కెమిస్ట్రీలో మంచి స్కోర్ సాధించి మంచి ఉన్నత శిఖరాలను అధిరోహించాలని ఆశిస్తూ ఈరోజుటి ప్రశ్నలోకి వెళ్దాం. టుడే ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్. ద యాక్టివేషన్ ఎనర్జీ ఆఫ్ ఎ రియాక్షన్ ఈజ్ జీరో. ద రేట్ కాన్స్టెంట్ K of the reaction increase with increase in temperature, decrease with increase in temperature, decrease with decrease in temperature is independent of temperature. So activation energy is zero. The rate constant will be dash. So activation energy, that is nothing but, according to Arrhenius theory, K is equal to A into e to the power of minus A by RT. Activation energy is zero. So K is equal to A into e to the power of 0. That is nothing but K is equal to A. So means here rate constant is not depends on temperature. Is not depends on temperature. Therefore it is independent of temperature. Independent of temperature. Why? Because you see activation energy is zero. According to Arrhenius theory, rate constant K is equal to A into e to the power of minus A by RT. That is the formula. But activation energy is zero. E to the power 0. So e to the power 0 is nothing but 1 unity. So K is equal to A. So there is no happen. So activation energy of a reaction is zero. The rate constant independent on temperature. So this is the explanation. Activation energy is zero. So K is equal to A into e to the power of minus A by RT. That is equal to A into e to the power of minus 0. That is nothing but A. Hence the rate constant is independent of temperature. Next one. Dash is a low spin complex. Dash is a low spin complex. So A, B, C, D, 4 complexes are given. So low spin means what? Means number of unpaired electrons are low. At what position number of unpaired electrons will be low? So they are completely pairing. So the electrons are participate in the pairing. So unpaired electrons are low. That is the low spin. Generally, this type of situation is available with strong ligands. So whenever strong ligands are present in the complex, inner orbital complex pair formation will be takes place. That is the low spin. If weak ligands are participate in the complex compound, that is outer orbital complex, in this pairing electron does not takes place. So availability of unpaired electrons may be chances. Therefore that is high spin. So here especially low spin complex means the central metal atom surrounding with strong ligands. So now identify the strong ligand. All halogens are weak ligands. Okay, in the B complex fluorine, in the C complex chlorine, in the D complex again fluorine. So fluorine is a weak ligand. So the pairing does not takes place. So pairing does not takes place means unpaired electrons are available. Unpaired electrons are available. That is a high spin. So therefore these three B, C, D complexes are outer complexes, outer orbital complexes. But A, cyanide ligand is a strong ligand. So therefore, nickel containing unpaired electrons are all participate with pairing. Therefore, no unpaired electrons chances. Therefore, it is always low spin complex. So now the answer is A. Answer is A. See, nickel atom, general electron configuration 4s2 3d8. But in the nickel plus 2, s orbital 2 electrons are completely eliminated. So remaining these two unpaired electrons are participated with the pairing. Therefore, it is inner orbital complex, that is a dsp2 hybridization. dsp2 hybridization. So no unpaired electrons. Therefore, unpaired electrons are completely zero. That is the zero spin. So spin value 0. That is a low spin. Next one. Gold has a FCC lattice with edge length 407 pm. The diameter of the gold atom is. So FCC lattice, edge length is given 407 pm. What is the diameter? So generally in the FCC lattice, R is equal to A by 2 root 2. Then 2R is equal to A by root 2. Now what is the edge length? 407 by root 2, 1.414. So 1.5 approximately. So that is maybe the answer 287.8. You see the rough calculation 1.5 approximately half, 400 half, 200, more than 200. So more than 200, which one? So 2.287.8 ppm. Remaining all are 300, 300, 500. So the answer is B. R is equal to A by 2 root 2. 2R is equal to A by root 2. 407 by 1.414. So 287.8 pm. Okay. The reaction of benzyl chloride with phenol in presence of NaOH is called. So the reaction of benzyl chloride with phenol in presence of NaOH. Benzyl chloride. Benzyl chloride means this is the benzyl chloride. With phenol, this is the phenol. HCl eliminated in the presence of NaOH. So ester formation will be takes place. That is phenyl benzoate. Phenyl benzoate ester. So formation of ester, that is nothing but Scharton-Baumann reaction. So the answer is A, Scharton-Baumann reaction. You see, phenol, benzyl chloride, phenyl benzoate, it is a Scharton-Baumann reaction. Clear? Next one, ethanol reacts with HCN and the addition product so obtained is hydrolyzed to form a new compound. This compound shows A. Optical isomerism, B. Geometrical isomerism, C. Tautomerism, D. Metamerism. You see, ethanol is nothing but acetaldehyde. So, acetaldehyde react with HCN, acetaldehyde cyanohydrin. OH CN. It undergoes hydrolysis. So anywhere CN is there, the CN will undergoes hydrolysis to give COOH. COOH. This is the product. Now this compound shows, you see, this is the carbon. Carbon surrounding 4 different atoms, H, OH, CH3, COOH. 4 different group of atom, therefore it is called chiral carbon. So chiral carbon containing compound is always exhibit optical isomerism. So the answer is optical isomerism. Yes. You see, acetaldehyde, ethanol, IUPAC name is ethanol, react with HCN to give cyanohydrin, acetaldehyde cyanohydrin, undergoes hydrolysis. So CN undergoes COOH. So chiral carbon, star mark containing carbon is called chiral carbon. So carbon, that is chiral carbon containing compounds are always exhibit optical isomerism. So the answer is optical isomerism. This is the explanation about that question. Next, now see that compound is called lactic acid, D-lactic acid and L-lactic acid. These are the enantiomers. Non-superimposable mirror images are called enantiomers. So this phenomenon is nothing but optical isomerism. Next one. HI was heated in a sealed tube at 440 degrees Celsius till the equilibrium was reached. HI was found to be 22% decomposed. The equilibrium constant for dissociation is. You see, here 2 moles of HI. So that is the decomposition, 2 moles of HI, H2 plus I2. H2 plus I2. For example, if 1 mole, this is the 0, this is the 0. So 1 minus 22%. 22%. This is the 1 mole is nothing but percentage means 100. You take 100. 0, 0. So 100 minus, that is 1 mole, that is 22%. So 22 by 100, that is nothing but 0.22. Okay. Now you considered 1 mole, 0, 0. 1 minus 0.22. 22 by 100 is nothing but 0.22. Yes. How much? 0.78. Here 2 moles 22%, but 1 mole 11. So 0.11, 0.11, 11. So at equilibrium, 2 HI constant is 0.78, H2 constant 0.11, I2 constant 0.11. Now what is the Kc? Equilibrium constant, product molar concentration, product of product molar concentration divided by reactant molar concentration. What is the Kc? Kc is nothing but H2 concentration into I2 concentration divided by HI concentration whole square. ఇక్కడ కాన్సంట్రేషన్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, వాటిని సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేద్దాం, ఆన్సర్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఎస్, 0.0199. Now see the calculation. You see, 2HI gives rise to H2 plus I2. Reaction initial mole, you consider 1 mole, 0, 0, dash, dash. Change of moles, 1 minus 0.22. Why? Because 22%, 22% by 100 is nothing but 0.22. So 1 minus 0.22, here 0.11. Why? Because 2 moles, 22%, 1 mole is equal to 22 by 2, that is nothing but 0.1111, 0.11, 11, 0.11. So Kc is equal to H2 concentration into I2 concentration divided by HI concentration whole square. So 0.11 into 0.11 divided by 0.78 into 0.78, that is nothing but 0.78 whole square. So the answer is 0.78 0.0199. This is the calculation. Next one, which of the given pairs of compounds resembles with CO2 in their structure? So CO2, carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide means what is the hybridization? Sp. C double bond O, C double bond O. Total number of bonds are 2. No lone pairs, only 2 bond pairs. So sp hybridization, geometry linear. So sp hybridization undali, linear geometry undali. So which one is possible? Which one is possible? I think A. Why? Because HgCl2. Yes, sp hybridization. C2H2, that is nothing but acetylene. H dash C triple bond C dash H. So triple bond is one bond, single bond one bond, total number of bonds are 2, sp hybridization. So in the acetylene, central atom carbon undergoes sp hybridization, linear geometry. Yes. So it is similar with CO2. So the answer is A. Very simple question. See, CO2 is linear compound having linear structure, not C double bond O, Cl, HgCl, HgCl2, acetylene, C2H2. Next question. Enthalpy H of a system is equal to sum of internal energy and pressure volume of a system is called enthalpy. That is H is equal to E plus PV. E plus PV. E means internal energy plus PV, product of pressure volume. So the answer is C. Internal energy E plus PV. This is the correct. This is the correct. Enthalpy H is defined as the sum of internal energy and pressure volume, that is work. H is equal to E plus PV. Next question. The Bose process is used for the production of hydrogen gas. Which of the given gas is utilized for this? So in the Bose process, we prepare the hydrogen gas. Here, coal gas, water gas, producer gas, none of these. So water gas, CO plus H2, treated with water in the presence of, that is water is nothing but steam, in the presence of catalyst to give carbon dioxide plus hydrogen gas. So the answer is B, water gas. It is a correct. See, water gas plus water, steam, in the presence of catalyst, carbon dioxide plus hydrogen gas liberated. This is the Bose process. So the reactant is water gas. Next question. The difference between heats of reaction at constant pressure and constant volume for the reaction. Benzene undergoes oxidation to give carbon dioxide plus water, that is 2 moles of C6H6 liquid plus 15 moles of oxygen gas gives rise to 12 moles of CO2 gas plus 6H2O liquid at 25 degrees centigrade in kilojoules is. So difference between heats of reaction at constant pressure and constant volume, that is nothing but delta H minus delta E. Generally, delta H is equal to delta E plus delta N RT. Okay. Now delta H minus delta E. We want this one. That is equal to delta N RT. So now delta N. What is delta N? Product number of moles minus reactant number of moles. So here water molecule liquid, this is also liquid, you don't consider this number of moles. So only gaseous component, that is 12 CO2. So delta N is nothing but 12 minus 15, that is equal to minus 3. So the answer is minus 3 into 8.314 into temperature 25. 25 plus 273, 298. So now the answer is minus 743. So the answer is A. Now see the correct explanation. Delta H minus delta E is equal to delta N RT. Delta N, product minus reactant, 12 minus 15, that is equal to minus 3. So delta H minus delta E is equal to minus 3 into 8.314 joules into 298. So kilojoules, you convert into kilojoules, that is by 1000. So minus 7.43 kilojoules per mole. So 1000 joules is equal to 1 kilojoule. So next question, what product is obtained when alcoholic solution of ethylene bromide is heated with granulated zinc? Zinc granule. So alcoholic solution of ethylene bromide. Ethylene bromide is nothing but vinyl dihalide. Vinyl dihalide means adjacent carbons are having bromine atoms. So now CH2Br, CH2Br. It is react with zinc, ZnBr2. So the formation of ethylene. So the answer is A. Ethylene is the answer. You see, ethylene bromide in the presence of zinc dust to give ethylene. Next one. For the given elementary reaction, N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2NH3. If delta NH3 concentration by delta T is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of minus 4 moles per liters per second, then calculate value of minus delta H2 by delta T. So here, first of all, you write the rate expression with respect to overall reaction. What is the rate expression? You see, minus d concentration of N2 by dt, that is equal to minus 1 by 3 d concentration of H2 by dt, that is equal to plus 1 by 2 d concentration of ammonia by dt. Okay. So the relation between hydrogen and ammonia, hydrogen and ammonia. So dH2 by dt is equal to 1 by 3 divided by 1 by 2. What happened? 2 by 3. So dH2 1 by 2, sorry, 1 by 2 divided by 1 by 3. What happened? 3 by 2. 3 by 2. So it is totally 3 by 2 d concentration of NH3 by dt. But NH3 by dt is given. How much? 2 into 10 to the power of minus 4. 2 to cancel. Then 3 into 10 to the power of minus 4 is answer. So that is B is correct. B is correct. So this is the clear solution. N2 plus 3H2 equilibrium to NH3 rate expression minus D concentration of N2 by dt is equal to minus 1 by 3 D concentration of H2 by dt, that is equal to plus 1 by 2 D concentration of NH3 by dt. So D concentration of H2 by dt is nothing but 3 by 2 into D concentration of ammonia by dt. That is 3 by 2 into 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3. 2 to cancel. That is 3 into 10 to the power of minus 4 moles per liters per second. Next one, alkyl halide undergoes sequence of reaction to form primary amine. Identify X and Y in the following sequence. So ethyl bromide gives rise to product in the presence of X. Product gives rise to propanamine in the presence of Y. So what is X? What is Y? So here X is KCN, then ethyl cyanide will be takes place. So ethyl cyanide converted into propanamine means 3 carbons containing amine. So cyanides are converted into amine in the presence of reducing agent. That is a strong reducing agent. Lithium aluminum hydride is possible. So why is lithium aluminum hydride? So which one is B only? B only. Y is lithium aluminum hydride. So no doubt about it. That is X is KCN. So the answer is B. So ethyl bromide treated with KCN to give ethyl cyanide. In the presence of lithium aluminum hydride, cyanides are converted into amines. So B is the correct answer. See, ethyl bromide KCN, that is the X. Ethyl cyanide, lithium aluminum hydride, that is the Y. So propanamine, C3H7NH2. Next, which of the following configuration has highest ionization energy? So highest ionization energy, generally the valence shell configuration half filled or fully filled configurations are more stable. These are having maximum ionization energy. So A 2p1 it is less than half filled. B 2p3 2s2 2s2 2p3 is the valence shell. S orbitals are completely filled, p orbitals are exactly half filled. Maybe this one. C 2s to 2p2 it is also less than half filled. 2s to 2p4 it is more than half filled. Less than half filled, more than half filled, unstable. So the correct answer is B only, because of P3 configuration is exactly half filled. Half filled configurations are more stable. Next one, the artificial sweetener stable at cooking temperature and does not provide calories is A. Saccharin, B. Aspartame, C. Sucralose, D. Allitame. So the answer is sucralose, trichloro, sucrose, trichloro, sucrose. It is sucralose. It is artificial sweetener stable at cooking temperature and does not provide any calories. So the answer is sucralose. See, sucralose is trichloro derivative of sucrose. It is stable at cooking temperature. It does not provide calories. Next one, calculate the wavelength in nanometers of a quantum of light with frequency of 8 into 10 to the power of 15 second inverse. The given value of Planck constant is 6.63 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joules per second. Joule second. The velocity of light is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meters per second. So here no need for Planck constant. Why? Because calculate the wavelength in nanometers. So lambda is equal to c by nu. So velocity is given, that is 3 into 10 to the power of 8. T into 10 to the power of 8 divided by 8 into 10 to the power of 15. So 3 by 8 into 10 to the power of minus 7. But nanometers are meters. So converted into nanometers. So 10 to the power of 9 meters is equal to 1 nanometer. So minus 7, 10 to the power of 9 means 10 square. 10 square means 3.75. 3.75 is nothing but 0.375 into 100. That is nothing but 37.5. That is roughly 40. So the answer is D. So 37.5 is nothing but 40, approximately 40. So lambda is equal to c by nu. Yes. 0.375 into 10 to the power of minus 9, that is converted into 3.75 into 10 to the power of minus 8. So 3.75 into 10 to the power of minus 8 into nanometers, 10 to the power of 9. 4 into 10 to the power of 1, that is nothing but 40. Next one, glyptol polymer is obtained from glycol by reacting with. So the glycol is nothing but ethylene glycol react with phthalic acid. So phthalic acid and ethylene glycol to give glyptol polymer. So the answer is phthalic acid B. B is the correct answer. See, ethylene glycol, phthalic acid undergoes polymerization to give glyptol. Next one, calculate the weight of aluminium deposited when a current of 5 Faradays is passed through a solution of Al plus 3 ion. The atomic weight of aluminum is 27. So calculate the weight of aluminium deposited when a current of 5 Faradays is passed through a solution of Al plus 3 ions. So here weight is equal to equivalent weight into number of Faradays. So weight W, equivalent weight into Faradays. So now aluminium atomic weight 27, Al plus 3, therefore Z is equal to 3, that is a 9. So equivalent weight is 9. So aluminum equivalent weight is 9 into how many Faradays? 5 Faradays. So the weight is 9 5s are 45. So the answer is C, 45 grams. See the solution, Al plus 3 electrons are required to give aluminium. So equivalent weight of aluminum is equal to atomic weight by valency, that is 3. That is equal to 9. So weight of aluminum is equal to equivalent weight of aluminum into number of Faradays. So 9 into 5, that is 45 grams. Which reagents can be used to oxidize aldehydes? A. Tollens reagent. B. Failing solution. C. Benedict solution. D. All of these. So aldehyde oxidized by Tollens reagent, Failing solution, Benedict solution. These three are oxidized. So the answer is D. All. See, Tollens reagent, ammonical silver nitrate solution is called Tollens reagent. So it oxidizes the aldehyde to carboxylate anion and the silver deposited. It is a silver mirror test. It is also called silver mirror test. So aldehydes are easily oxidized by Tollens reagent. It is the Benedict test, aldehydes, Benedict reagent, copper citrate, so carboxylate anion and brick red color precipitate will be deposited. So this is Benedict test. So in the Benedict test also aldehydes undergoes oxidation. This is the failing test, failing solution, blue color. So this blue color solution add with aldehyde, same carboxylate ion and brick red precipitate is formed. Means aldehydes are oxidized by Tollens, failing and Benedict solution. So the answer is D, all the above. Next one, how many nodal planes are there in a px orbital? So number of nodal planes are equal to L value, that is the azimuthal quantum number. So what is the azimuthal quantum number value of p orbital? 1. So azimuthal quantum number value is 1 with respect to p orbital. Therefore, the number of nodal planes are 1. So the answer is A. Answer is A. But the particular this px orbital, what is the nodal plane? So remaining two axes what? YZ. So YZ is a nodal plane of px orbital. So only one nodal plane of any p orbital, that is the px or py or pz, whatever it may be, px orbital one nodal plane, py orbital one nodal plane, pz orbital one nodal plane. So totally p orbitals are having only one nodal plane. See, nodal planes, number of nodal planes is equal to L, that is azimuthal quantum number. The p orbital L value is 1. This is the px orbital. What is the nodal plane? YZ is the nodal plane. Py orbital. What is the nodal plane? XZ is the nodal plane. PZ orbital. XY is the nodal plane. So any p orbitals, the nodal plane is only 1 due to L value is 1. Next one, for the reduction of silver ions with the copper metals, the standard cell potential was found to be plus 0.46 volt at 25 degrees Celsius. The value of standard Gibbs energy delta Z will be Faraday F is equal to 96,500 coulombs per mole. So we want standard Gibbs energy delta Z is how much? Delta Z is equal to minus N F E0 cell. So N means number of electrons. That is the silver ion to copper metal. Silver means Ag plus, copper means U plus 2. Totally 2 electrons. So 2 Ag plus Cu gives rise to Cu plus 2 to Ac. So here n is equal to 2 minus 2 F 96,500 coulombs into E0 cell. What happened? 0.46. Then calculate approximately 89 joules. 89 joules. So the value approximately 8889 joules. But we want the kilojoules. Therefore, by 1000, roughly 89 minus 89 kilojoules. So the answer is B. 89 minus 89 kilojoules. This is the joules. So 8896 joules is not their answer. So converted into kilojoules, that is 89 kilojoules. See the conversion. So this is 2Az plus Cu gives rise to 2Az plus Cu plus 2. So here transfer of electrons are 2, that is n is equal to 2. The formula of change of standard Gibbs free energy delta Z naught is equal to minus n F E0 cell. So delta Z is equal to minus 2 into 96,500 coulombs into 0.46. It is not minus. This is the plus. So totally minus 88.78 kilojoules. So minus 88780 joules by 1000, 88.78 kilojoules, that is approximately 89 kilojoules. Next question, calculate the unpaired electrons for a metal ion of first transition series having the magnetic moment of 2.83 bm. So magnetic momentum value is given, that is 2.83 bm. Find the unpaired electrons. So here one simple trick is there. Any magnetic momentum value is given, that is, for example, you see x point something, x point yz, this is the magnetic momentum value. So then unpaired electrons are nothing but x. For example, 1.78 is given. What is the number of unpaired electrons? 1. If 2.83 is given, what is the unpaired electrons? 2. If 3.78 is given, what is the unpaired electrons? 3. If 4.86 is given, what is the unpaired electrons? 4. It is a simple logic. So here the magnetic momentum value 2.83 bm. Then how many unpaired electrons are possible? 2 only. So the answer is 2, that is D. So answer is D, 2 unpaired electrons. So today these are the most important questions for NEET point of view. సో అందరూ కూడా వీడియో చూసింటారు. క్వశ్చన్స్ నచ్చినట్లయితే సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోండి, మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్కి ఫార్వర్డ్ చేయండి, ఎక్కువ వీడియోలు చూడండి, సబ్జెక్ట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ బాగా తెలుసుకోండి. కాంపిటీషన్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్లో కెమిస్ట్రీలో మంచి స్కోర్ సాధించి మంచి సీటు పొందాలని ఆశిస్తూ ఈరోజు ప్రోగ్రామ్ను ముగిస్తున్నాం. నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్లో మరిన్ని క్వశ్చన్లతో మీ ముందుంటాను. అంతవరకు బాయ్.